get into alchemical symbolism, darling. Especially the number 8. You do want to learn about it, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. A man reflects our physical world. You can be a female, and if you have a body, you are considered male in symbology. An old man with a long beard represents a liberated sage, men and women who have completed the great work. They are often spoke about in esoteric traditions around the world. They are Enoch, Elijah, or Jesus who rose from the dead. In Taoism, which is the Chinese form of alchemy, there are the 8 immortals. So this man with a long beard is holding the number 8. And these 8 immortals are human beings who, by treading the way of Taoism, have been liberated from all the restrictions of incarnate existence, birth, illness, and death. In Tibet, such realized sages are called immortal Vajra holders. The mystical lore of the Russian Orthodox Church gives accounts of hermits whose lives span the centuries, calling them the starets or the Methusela. Roman Catholicism teaches, as an article of faith, that Mary, the mother of Jesus, did not taste death, being physically taken up into the worlds above at her assumption. A form of Christian Kabbalah, the fully realized sage is called an ipsissimus, a Latin word meaning he who is himself, identical to the Hindu concept of Atman, the supreme self. These men and women, these human immortals, are clothed with the holy life breath and have become superconscious depositories of the power of God. So if you are scrying and you see an old man with a beard, it does not mean a man. It could be a woman or a man who has ascended out of the 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 chakras, 7 days in a week. They have risen above the 7 heavens, the 7 curses of Cain, the 7 harmonics or musical notes, and the 7 metals. They are also connected to the number 36, which comes to those who hold the 7 pillars of wisdom and righteousness. They are 7 saints whose successive lives extend over the entire history of humanity. The beard also reflects the symbol of water. If the man has a wizard hat on his head, it represents a person who has succeeded in achieving the baptism of fire. If the wizard hat has a circle around it, like Saturn, this represents that this person is not only going through the baptism of fire, but they are actually centered within the rings of Saturn, a time called the blackness. If the wizard is clothed in a black robe, this reflects that they are in the blackness or the first matter of Saturn. If they are wearing a white robe, this represents that the wife or the water, which is physical flesh, or the male, has married the wife, which is fire, which is the invisible world, and they created steam. The steam is the Christ child who goes through an awakening to resurrect from the dead, walking on water and having dominion over the material world. The steam and the white wizard, you can liken it to Gandalf the Grey, turning into Gandalf the White. And this shift of color is speaking to us as to where we are as an outer reflection in symbology. So if you are studying symbology and you find a man without a wizard hat, this means that someone is learning to become an immortal sage through alchemy, but has not fully gone through the baptism of fire. Once the fire is achieved, the steam will be achieved. From the steam, we go through awakenings which illuminate us into our white robe of glory.
And you might like to know that Saturn emits a plasma which looks like a bearded man Ho, 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 ho.